I simply can't accept the government's counter-motion because it's a thing of nothing. It basically notes the government's commitment to the survival of the aviation sector when circumstances allow, and an aviation recovery task force recommendations when the time is right. Now, you know, governments frequently come up with meaningless words, and these are indeed those meaningless words. I do welcome the concrete actions that the government announced yesterday. Minister Ryan took issue with, quote-unquote, our failure to acknowledge actions by the government. But I suppose I would point out that this motion was put down on Friday, and the government announced these actions, I've no doubt, in response to this motion yesterday. And I think graciously acknowledged and welcomed those actions in my introductory remarks. So to suggest that we're not acknowledging the government's actions is untrue. Maybe the government might also acknowledge that they brought forward those actions in response to this motion. But regardless of the reasons, I welcome them. I would, though, look at two actions in particular that the government, two announcements in particular. The first one is the £6 million announcement for operational costs for the regional airports, which is quite important, but it's subject to EU approval. Is that a delaying tactic, or is that actually required? Because my understanding was that state aid rules had been suspended for the duration of COVID-19. So if that is the case, why are they going to the Commission for approval? Is it merely to delay this? And the second thing I would make is there have been previous government announcements with regard to aviation and with regard to Shannon Airport and the Shannon Group in particular, which have not lived up to the government's billing. I acknowledge how badly the airlines have treated their workers, in particular Aer Lingus. I mean, they seem to have a policy of not telling anybody what's happening at Shannon Airport. Now, that's somewhat strange when it comes to their passengers, but, you know, the passengers can go to Dublin Airport, and that may well be what Aer Lingus wants to achieve by this. But it is appalling when it comes to their own workers and the manner in which they have treated their workers in Shannon Airport. And they are the workers that I have met. I have no reason to believe that the workers are being treated any better in the other airports.
The vote is therefore postponed until the weekly division time later today.